I was watching a podcast, and the podcast was talking about.
There are others?
Yes, there are others.
Oh.
I was watching one because this was directly towards uh, what kind of money Phil was making. Uh, CM Punk was making, and they were just like, well, he was making. He must have been making like 5 or 10 on contract. Thinking, okay. And then the one guy says, yeah, and he was on that show Heels. He was probably making $1 million an episode on that. And I'm thinking, Jesus, like, do you have any idea what a million, like, who gets $1 million for something like that? Like Tom Selleck on Blue Bloods, which has been on for fucking 20 seasons. I think he caps out at 300.
Right.
You know,
Especially nowadays with
oh,
this isn't like back when there were
not when
7 primetime shows on.
Well, not only that too, it's like when I shot that first John Wick, it was like everybody that had a part in that movie, they brought them in. They don't shoot in order.
Right.
They bring them in. They shoot their scenes. They get them out of there. You know, it's a 5. If you shoot a full 5 days, man, that's a lot of time on them.
Yeah. So we just got Jennifer Aniston's making $2 million an episode for I'm going to call it Good Morning America. It's supposed to be Good Morning America. That's the morning show, yeah.
Right.
So
That's
and
Jennifer
so we're
Aniston.
thinking that CM Punk was getting half of that for Heels.
Half of it, but yeah, because and who has
she's in 80% of every episode too.
But also Jennifer Aniston, what did she make during the
$1 million an
course of
episode.
that? How much was Friends?
They all got $1 million an episode. They
Right.
always stayed. Their contract stayed the
What year
same.
was that? And what year was it?
90s.
So I know right now that $1 million in 96 is 1.97 today.
So it's consistent. She's making 2 now. She's making 1 then.
1 point, I mean, within 30K.
Yeah, so I'm thinking those figures mightn't be accurate, Kevin.
Yeah, the guy came up with a total of $17 million. It's like when you read these things, and I'll read my net worth.
Kevin, you knew exactly. I'm looking at the inflation calculator. You knew exactly what the 1 million. Do you sit around and just calculate what the first run money is today? So when a promoter calls you, like in Wales, and wants you to do a signing,
If you're not, I'm just saying, man. I make sure I know everything.
you sure do. Go ahead. You were telling a story.
Especially when like nobody knows how to negotiate for me quite like me. But what was I going to say?
Well, we were talking Aniston money and
Yeah, but so
17 million.
You'll see these things and they'll say, so and so's net worth, and they'll have the top 20 net worths of professional wrestlers, and I'll see somebody that's like they'll have my net worth is $8 million, and then they'll have somebody else's is like 30, and that person I know doesn't have a pot to piss in. Doesn't have fucking any, but, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how could you possibly know how much Kevin Nash is worth? All of my vehicles are in my trust. So there's no way that you could possibly, just from a vehicle search, and I looked on Forbes, I was worth 12 million. I had I think a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, like all these cars that fucking I couldn't get my in, let alone my body to drive. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you would have to know my S Corp. You would have to know all my LLCs, the LLCs that feed into the life insurance policy, how there's just absolutely no way that you could track, you know, my funding.
Right. Yeah. So I see these things too. So the only thing they must do, Kevin, is they find a salary point that's reported somewhere, and they multiply that over however many years you're working. I don't know if you're saving your money, if you're investing your money. How would anyone know who compiles this list? Looking at a list now that has this is supposed to be current net worth of the Big
Yeah.
Show, 16 million. Just $1 million under the Undertaker, Jericho,
Yeah.
18 million. Why the hell is he doing a podcast? Bill Goldberg, 16. Batista, 16. Jarrett, 15.
And I'm thinking,
Jarrett, 15.
I'm
He's
thinking,
doing a podcast.
I'm thinking Batista would of any of those guys in that lump,
Mm-hmm.
Batista would have the highest net worth.
Who was at the top?
Vince.
All right, Vince, fine. Yeah. Rock, 800
Dwayne,
million.
absolutely.
That's almost $1 billion, though, Kevin. $1 billion for Dwayne? I'm putting him at 25. I'm sorry, I'm putting him at 25, 30 million.
25, 30?
Yeah.
No, he's that production company, man. All the fucking money that gets dumped into that.
How do you value a production company? It's not an asset. I mean, all right, 50. 50. Trips, Triple H, 250 million. Was that Stephanie also 250 million?
See, that I got a ballpark of what Austin's worth.
Mm-hmm. What do they have him here? What do they have
30.
30.
I would say Steve's 45, 50.
Okay. Hulkster, 25? Not anymore, right?
Right? Oh.
I heard that he was taken to the cleaners by
Everybody. Unless it's that Gawker money, but then I heard that the Gawker thing was very, very minute.
Did he actually get that 31 million in the settlement? It looks like.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I heard.
Well, that would account for some of that 25. So, Bella Twins, 20 million. I don't know.
If Jericho had 18 million, you think he'd be doing Fozzy, a podcast, and working fucking his ass off?
I don't know. That's kind of my reaction when I saw his name on the 18 million right there.
I'll tell you right now, if I had 15,
Mick Foley, 14.
If I had 15, you wouldn't see me again. Ever.